What's the diet you're supposed to be on and the exercise you're supposed to do if you're on GLP-1 drugs for weight loss? And what is my significant problem that I've learned that I need to deal with? Hello everybody, and welcome to the Honor and Knowledge channel. This is the weekly update for my Hungry Strike for America, where I'm losing 50 pounds by the end of October of this year to support Speaker Johnson in maintaining a majority in the House and President Trump and all of the United States, because by God, we don't want to hear impeach, 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 and we don't want to undo anything that President Trump has accomplished so far. So let's talk about GLP-1s, and specifically, what is the recommended diet and the recommended exercise routine that you're supposed to be on if you're taking GLP-1 pills, drugs, or whatever they're called. So here's a stereotypical standard recommended diet for Ozempic users. Get some lean protein in your diet, and 60 grams is about half of a normal serving. Fruits and vegetables make sense. Healthy fats, yep. Whole grains and hydration. Drink lots of fluids. Pretty good. You know what? It's very similar to what I eat. But because I only want to lose about 1 pound a week so that my body can handle it and my skin doesn't start to droop, I actually eat significantly more than 1 serving of meat a day. So let's use the brand new food chart from the federal government. Thank you, Secretary Kennedy. Most of the things on this chart I readily eat as part of my diet, but I do stay away from bread and potatoes, and absolutely no peanuts. Not good for you. High in calories and all kinds of other not such good stuff. So eat real nuts if you want nuts, but not cashews either. So do eat walnuts and almonds. And I also eat, but very little, avocado, olive oil, squash, and fruit like grapes that have lots of sugar and bananas that have lots of carbohydrates, all because of the too many calories. But at just 1 pound a week, I actually get to eat a lot more calories a week than on the GLP-1 program. Except recently, I seem to have been taking too much advantage of that. But on my natural weight loss plan, here are some things that I don't get. On GLP-1, you get gastrointestinal side effects such as nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. And tasting a piece of birthday cake, absolutely bad. Well, here is a recommended exercise plan when you're taking GLP-1 medicines. The exercise plan has 150 minutes a week, that's 2.5 hours, of things like walking, cycling, and swimming. I do the same on my elliptical and rowing machine. Then it says to do things like stretching and light yoga. Well, I do a lot of therapy at home. We'll consider those the same, even though I do a lot more time, because I've got so many body parts that need attention. Strength training is where there's a big difference between their sample plan and my actual plan. Their sample plan has about 30 minutes only, half an hour a week of strength training. I do about 6 hours a week. I think that's very important. I got pretty fat, which means my muscles, I didn't have a lot of muscles. So I really need strength training. There's a lot of similarities. The diet that you're supposed to be on and the diet that I'm on, as well as the exercise routine that I'm on. And what is my main challenge with regards to my own diet and exercise routine? Well, I don't really have a challenge with regard to my exercise routine. Let's cover that one first. Quite honestly, I look forward to my exercise routine right now. I see that it is actually helping me an awful lot. I'm looking better and I'm feeling better. And quite honestly, my body is performing pretty well in spite of all the different bum parts I have on my body. The pretty significant therapy I do at home is what I need to do, whether I'm on a diet or trying to lose weight or whatever. I need to do that therapy just so I can move properly. My diet is actually my main challenge. My diet is actually almost identical now than what you're supposed to be eating if you're on GLP-1s. So what's the biggest challenge that I've just recently figured out is really the main thing I need to learn to change in my lifestyle? The seafood diet. And I don't mean fish, I see food, I eat it. It's easier for me to eat nothing than just to eat something. You remember the old advertisement about Lay's potato chips? You just can't eat one? Well, as I've said before, any single bag or package is a single serving for me. Now, people like my wife can go out to dinner, eat the right amount for her. I go out to dinner and it's hard for me not to eat everything. I have the poor Chinese are starving and you better eat everything syndrome. That's the way my mother raised me. My parents would tell me the Chinese are starving and I need to eat my food to help them out. I've never figured out the logic, but I had a clean plate syndrome. I took that into my adulthood. I need to change that. When I was really working out an awful lot when I was younger, burning up a lot more than 2,000 calories a day, running 65 miles a week sometimes, doing marathons, that kind of thing, I got used to eating lots of calories. When you're young, you have a stronger metabolism. You can also recover from injuries faster. All those things allowed me to eat a lot more and stay pretty physically fit, as well as the every 6 months Navy and Navy Reserves physical fitness tests I had to do and weigh in. That really got me to stay in shape. However, as I've gotten older and I started doing lots of travel, all those things, I've lost the ability to eat that many calories. That's the biggest change I need to accept in my body. I cannot eat as many calories before, and I need to learn how to stop myself. Like I said, it's easier for me to not eat at all for a day or 2 days than it is for me right now to eat a small amount of calories. Willpower for me appears to be weakest when I actually eat something, not when I'm hungry and haven't eaten anything. It's weaker for me when I've eaten a small amount of food. I think that's the whole biological body thing that just wants you to keep eating until you're satisfied. That is the problem I have. So having identified the problem, by God, I'm going to use my willpower to stop that. Not the way Oprah said, which was,
you don't overeat and become obese. Obesity causes you to overeat.
No. That's not the way it goes. I need to use my brain to really stop me. My interest here is to get back into losing a pound a week. So my biggest challenge is controlling myself once I start to eat. And even though I knew that I've always had the one package, one serving problem and the seafood diet problem, I now realize that's the single thing I need to focus on in order to change my lifestyle to fit the reality of me being in my 70s and of the reality of me being older. In order to be healthy, I need to accept the reality of my metabolism slowing down and the need to reduce how much I eat. It's just reality. So that's about it for this week's update. Did not lose a pound last week. We talked about the diet and exercise that you're supposed to be on if you do use diet drugs, and they're really not that much different from what I'm doing right now to lose weight. The natural way, as I call it. Before we go to the conclusion, allow me to do a public service announcement. My wife and I are not going to be watching the Super Bowl Sunday evening. We'll be doing something else. There are alternatives to do. We actually might go see the documentary Melania. That would be a hoot to do that instead of watching the Super Bowl. Thank you for watching this. God bless you. God bless President Trump and his administration. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you for watching the Honor and Knowledge channel.